I'm not an elected member of parliament, I'm not seeking election, and I don't work for government. Let me tell you, this is a bad idea. I'm not going to say this is a good idea implemented well. I have to be circumspect and I have to be clear. It's a bad idea.
Yes, guys, welcome again to Primetime Analysis. I am your host, Victor Onyango. Now, for the last 2 months, one thing that has made news every day, and it is the most searched for item on Google, and it is the Finance Bill 2023. For the first time, Kenyans have had an opportunity to have a robust discussion about a budget prepared by their government. We know that this has not happened in this magnitude before, but it is not new because this is a constitutional provision that has been in existence. Now, one of the main things that has hit headlines about this finance bill has been the 3% housing levy. And you know, when discussion is centralized around a certain item, people tend to be clouded and not look deeper into other issues that are contained therein. In this analysis, I have taken my time to go through the Finance Bill 2023, and I have found certain areas that I think, if not well addressed, could make life unbearable to the common man. These areas touch on almost all sectors around, and therefore they have a net effect of increasing the cost of life in the country. Now, before I list these 9 areas that have been pointed from this bill, thank you for those who are watching. Let me take this time to appreciate your time. And for those who have not subscribed, please take a minute or two to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. We are here to break down these complex issues so that all of us can have a better understanding of what we are discussing or of what is coming before us. For those who have subscribed, we thank you for that. And please remember that we do not take your support for granted, because this support keeps encouraging us and keeps making us work harder to get better content. Welcome, and let's begin. Now, I have told you that I've looked at around 9 areas in this finance bill that I think, if not well addressed, are going to interfere with the normal life of the Kenyan. Remember, right now, life is already hard and things are already expensive. And therefore, if a finance bill is going to increase taxes on certain important commodities, it is fair for us as Kenyans to have an open discussion so that we understand how we will respond to such kind of issues. The first one that I'm going to touch is a critical item, and this is Unga. Yes, you heard me right, Unga. With this finance bill, the price of Unga is going to rise. I know we've been told that they are subsidizing production and not consumption. But there is one item that is contained in this finance bill that is going to touch on the final price of Unga. And this is the craft paper. The bill is proposing that a 10% tax is introduced on craft paper. This craft paper is the item that is used to wrap the Unga. It is used in wrapping a lot of cereal products like sorghum. If you have that, the package that you find it in, that package is going to cost, it is going to have a price increase of up to 10%. And what we know with our businessmen is that when an item's price has been increased on the government side, what they do is they tend to push such kind of costs to the consumer. And therefore, with this tax therein, it is my submission that the cost of our flour, be it sorghum, be it cassava, be it maize flour, be it wheat, all of these are going to rise to a certain percentage. So we wait to see what that price impact is going to cause on the common man. So I touched on Unga. The second item that is going to be taxed here is the cooking appliances or cooking stoves for bioethanol fuel. We know that bioethanol fuel, it's cocoa. For those who have seen that, it's majorly, that is the most that I can think of directly. So for that person who is going to say that I am opting out of wood, I want to use bioethanol fuel. If you have any appliance that is using bioethanol fuel, things like cocoa, their prices are going to shoot higher. Initially, it was in exempt because the government was insisting that it wants to encourage the use of renewable energy. But it seems the current regime has seen that this is an area that Kenyans have gone into so much, and it is an area that warrants taxation. So I don't know the rationale of why they have introduced it, but now it is going to attract a VAT, value added tax of 16%. Now, the third item, that is going to affect you, while this can be contested, but I know households differ and how we use our items also differ. But for that person whose child does not, or whose wife does not have breast milk, we always know that we give those kids formula. So milk formula was initially exempted from VAT taxation. But in this bill, the current regime has seen it right to include a 16% rise of taxation. Now it is removed from exempt into the standard rate, the VAT standard rate, where it is now going to receive a 16% taxation. I tried to do my calculation kidogo so that if this formula, let's say it costed 600 shillings. So the additional 16% means that it is going to increase by 96 Kenya shillings. And that means it will cost around 696 Kenya shillings. So there is an increase in the prices of milk formula for kids, for those young infants whose mothers have maybe complications, or in one way or the other, or they have little milk or such kind of complications. So this is going to cost you higher. The fourth area that I think we need to talk about is on the area of vaccines. Yes, this is healthcare. You know the cost of healthcare in this country and how it is challenging. Now, there is an item, a product that is used in making these vaccines, and it is called antisera under the blood fractions. This is going to attract a VAT of 16%. Initially, it was exempted from taxation. So the cost of vaccines are going to be higher. So, for example, I just did a small math and say that if this vaccine initially costed 200 shillings, now it is going to cost 232 Kenya shillings. So it's 32 Kenya shillings more. So that is an area that you would want to be involved in, because we know that there are certain diseases that we find ourselves needing to protect ourselves from. Things like measles, things like polio, these kind of diseases. So in this case, any item that is used for vaccination, those kind of medicine that are used for vaccination, they are going to cost 16% higher because they're going to attract a VAT. And you know that when a VAT is posted, is charged on an item, it is not the manufacturer that is to incur this cost. It goes to the consumer. The fifth item is also on healthcare. And this one is on construction of specialized hospitals. For instance, we know that cancer is a serious issue, or even, the issue of kidney, dialysis, such kind of things. So initially, this was exempted from taxation because they were encouraging hospitals and investors to build hospitals that are offering specialized care. So if anyone is constructing a hospital that is based on specialized care for any disease, The construction materials initially did not attract VAT, but right now they are going to attract a VAT of 16%, as always. So that is an area. You know, the cost of healthcare, how it is a challenge to Kenyans. Right now, the vaccines have gone up, specialized care have also, they will automatically go up, because if construction of those facilities is high, automatically what they are going to charge you to get back their money is automatically going to be high. So you know that NHIF has failed to reimburse money to private hospitals. So common man cannot go there. Now the cost of this healthcare is also going to rise, because building such kind of hospitals have also been taxed. So it's a serious challenge, especially when it comes to healthcare. So that is a critical area that this regime has decided to tax. I will look at the fifth item. The fifth item here is fertilizer. This is quite scary, because the government has been talking about subsidizing production, not consumption. But the government has decided to charge VAT on fertilizer manufacturing inputs and fertilizers, certain specific fertilizers. I didn't go deeper to check on which, because they say that fertilizers of chapter 31, so I didn't want to go deeply there. But the take home here is that fertilizers input, those that have been imported, the input that you're going to put on fertilizers, it's going to cost you, it's going to attract a VAT charge on it. And therefore, you know, initially these ones were exempted. Initially they were exempted from taxation. But right now they will not have that exemption, but instead they will be taxable at 16%. So the question of subsidizing production, it hits a snag there, because that's a challenge there. That's a challenge. So that is something that is going to affect. So for me, in this one, I guess the government's subsidy on fertilizer is going to be phased out. And once it's phased out, the prices of fertilizer will automatically shoot. It's not going to be an unending subsidy on fertilizers. So that is an area we must look at keenly. The sixth area is also on healthcare. And this one is on pharmaceutical manufacturing inputs. Bei ya dawa inaenda kupanda. All those materials that are used in manufacturing of pharmaceutical products, they are going to attract higher price. The thing is, initially, pharmaceutical products were zero rated. Those inputs, they were zero rated. What I mean by zero rated is that when a manufacturer has bought items that are going to be used as inputs in manufacturing, let's say Panadol, the materials that have been used in manufacturing Panadol, they were taxed. So this manufacturer is going to go back to KRA and claim the tax that was put on the input. Now these pharmaceutical products are going to exempt, meaning that they do not have that right to go and claim the 16% that they used to, the VAT that they used to claim before. Meaning, this that they used to claim before, they are going to pass it to the consumer. So if you're going to buy Panadol, let's say it was 20 shillings, remember that it will go like 22 shillings or 23 shillings. It will have a rise in price because of that movement from zero rated to exempt. So something that was initially zero rated, if it has been moved to the section of exempt, that means that it is going to have higher prices when it comes to selling it in the market. So for me, they have really attacked healthcare here, because you remember vaccines was attracting VAT. Remember construction of specialized healthcare facilities attracting taxation. Remember now pharmaceutical products which were zero rated, right now they are exempted, meaning they will not charge a 16% VAT, but they will not claim for the inputs. So cost of input is going to be high, meaning cost of production is going to be high. And then when cost of production is high, automatically the consumer must get the pinch. The seventh one now, I think that's the eighth one. The eighth item that is going to affect you directly is sugarcane. Prices of sugar are going to rise. You know, the entire value chain of manufacturing, if you tinker with anything, you tinker with the value of the final product. Initially, cost of transportation, initially transporting sugarcane from farms to factories where they are being milled did not attract. In fact, no, it was zero rated, meaning the cost of that journey until the factory, every cost that is expensed there, the manufacturer or the transporter can go and claim it back, meaning the cost of transportation is going to be lower. But now it is moved from zero rated to exempt, meaning it is not going to qualify for claiming VAT, input VAT. And in this case, remember, fuel prices have also gone up. So when fuel prices have gone up, cost of transportation of sugar is also going to go up. Add fuel, add the cost of the movement, the zero rating that has been removed. When you add these two together, it means that the consumer will have to pay for the movement of sugarcane from the farms to the factory. What does this mean? When you have your sugar at the supermarket or at the shop, its prices will go high. And that one means prices of the commodities will be higher. The final one. Now this is for the Tala guys. Anyone who takes Fuliza, anyone who takes M-Shwari, anyone who takes KCB-MPesa, anyone who takes those many digital lenders, the thing that is going to happen is that service charge for digital lending was initially attracting 7.5% taxation, excise tax, 7.5% excise tax. Now it has been moved from 7.5 to what? 20%. 20%. So meaning the cost, like sometimes you find you've borrowed 1,000 shillings and you're told this 1,000 shillings, the service fee is 20 shillings. Now it is going to rise. And it is not going to be paid by the lender. You are the one who is going to pay it. So the cost of borrowing from online lenders is going to rise. And around 12.5%, by around 12.5%. That's a huge, huge, huge margin. So be prepared for that. Be prepared for that. So it's going to be a serious challenge. But when you hear the government, they say that they have removed close to 20 taxes from items here and there. The government is funny. That the taxations that for them, they're removing 1%, 0.5%, 1.5%, that way going down. But when they tax you, the ones they have increased, it is in 12%, it is in 16%, it's huge. So here, for me, what I can say is that if these things pass as they are, we are going to have a serious challenge because almost every sector of the economy is going to be touched.